Hi guys, and welcome back. Back again for week 2, round 3 of the Briggs Farmers League. I'm Adam Fox, the original Lane Gamer here with Spadge again, obviously, and jumping straight back into the match. So, fifth column versus RSNC. Spadge, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, two teams that are going to be hungry for a win. We saw fifth column, as we said, they really got blown out by Jugger, and I don't think that that's an indication of the level of skill that those guys have. They're a really strong team. I think that's just first round jitters mixed with coming up against a really tough team. So I'd like to see them turn around and just salvage a bit of pride, if nothing else. They'll be looking to just stamp the fact that they've got six really skilled players that they can put on a board. At the same time, RSNC, they won their first match against Soka, but it wasn't as convincing as they probably would have liked. So they're going to be looking basically to put a 400 score on them, just like the Jugger. They are going to be hungry for blood, just to keep their second place hold on the ladder, which with Jugger going down, a very real possibility that you could see even RSNC jump to number one.
Yes, so looking at the teams here for fifth column, we've got Fappy, Mono, Spuddle, Slime Hunter, Rippling, and Chili Philly, and RSNC with Ching, Luke, D. Cole, Red Banjo, Wines, and Your Enemy. So, two very strong teams there.
Yeah, a lot of the same players that we saw in the first week coming back in this one. I think the FCLM team is basically mostly unchanged from memory. That was the exact team that they put up, but I may be wrong. Ching, Luke, and Wenz, obviously from last week. I can't recall. No, Red Banjo was definitely in there. I don't think Decol or Your Enemy. I think those are the two debutants for the
The
RSNC
two new
guys this week.
yeah.
So those guys are going to be dealing with what their team dealt with in the first one. There's going to be jitters. There's going to be a little bit of nervousness, so they just need the four guys that are effectively the veterans, although veterans of one round, need to just do the job that they need to do so that those guys have the confidence to get into the swing of things.
Having a go at me on the Twitch stream for calling him Wines again. Wens,
Oh
Wens,
yeah,
goddammit.
wines. No, it's wines, because every time you mispronounce it, they've got to take a drink, so
Yep.
you can stop complaining and man up.
A lot of drunk people in the communal team speak right now, I'd imagine.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Any early predictions on this match? Who do you think is going to take the A point? Anything like that?
A point control is on this map always going to be a bit of a juggle. I think the RSNC guys, just based on their last week's play, I'd tip them to do it. I really don't see the FCLM guys making a point to try and push in on there really hard. I think they're going to want to let RSNC push out, overexpose themselves, and then before all of their guys go down, re-secure the point off the RSNC guys, and then take control of the building that way. So sort of feint your enemy into an attack, and then hit them when they're the weakest and the most exposed, because if your enemy prioritizes that A point, they're going to be very exposed on that raised platform in the center. If you can get your guys onto your balcony, secure that, even their balcony at the same time, you're going to be in good stead.
And we have our 1 minute mark. So looking at the mini-map here, I should probably swap over to the actual match screen, would be smart. You guys can see as well. It looks like the fifth column guys are starting at the northern Sundra, or the... There we go. Fifth column guys starting at the northern Sundra, with the RSNC guys starting at the southern. And then obviously they will swap around for the second round.
Yeah, no advantage to be had from either team, obviously, with their starting locations. So purely up to the play of the team to get in on the point. You have no advantage, your enemy has no advantage, and you have no excuse, really, except for the fact that you just got outplayed.
Yep, and that's what will be really interesting to see in this first 30 seconds is how they push into the match. And how they push into the A point and what their strategy is and who comes out on top for that A point.
We got FCLM have got one light assault, 4 heavies, and 1 infiltrator. so far matched by the RSNC guys. I cannot see their light assault or their 6th man, so they may have a light assault on the roof.
Yeah, they do seem a little bit low on people inside the A point here. We're only really seeing 3 for that initial push. It looks like they've had one guy flank around, and he's gotten at least 1 kill there from the back. And Fappy going down there to Luke.
They've maintained some sort of control, the FCLM guys, on their balcony. They've got their sniper up there, but they have lost the point. They don't have enough guys on the point to punish what RSNC is doing and capturing.
Deagle going down to Spuddles there.
So pretty textbook opening, what we would expect. RSNC have got the point, but
They've actually
FCLM
kept
lacked
the point.
the point. Lacked the, I guess, manpower or weight of shot to push them off. They're starting now to get in. They've got up onto their balcony unopposed. That's a mistake. They should not. The RSNC guys have let them up there so easily. But at the same time, they managed to clean up their mess.
We have Ching here, yeah, on the other side of the balcony. They got
Oh,
flanked there by
That was Decol.
Decol, yeah.
But Decol doing a bit of work. And they're keeping a man on the point. So in the other game, we saw that the Infiltrator was the one sole man on the point, either Solus or Newt. At the moment, we've got Red Banjo on the Infiltrator role, as well as Luke in the heavy role on the point, with the 4 other guys spread out onto the balconies, or one man Phantom somewhere that I can't quite see. Maybe a light assault on the roof. No, we've got Mono in the light assault role for FCLM, unless he's just taken down Wenz, which he actually looks like he has. So Wenz is the light assault, so Wenz and Mono will be going toe-to-toe on the roof just for control over that area.
Happy and Chili here, both sort of trying to figure out whether or not they want to push in. Holding back a little bit, playing it smart, waiting to see where the other guys are coming from.
Mono managed to take down Wenz yet again, so he's maintaining control on that roof, but it doesn't look like FCLM can push in. It's a really textbook hold so far by the
They have pushed at
RSNC.
least one guy. Fappy's got up onto the balcony here. They've got another guy coming up as well. That's Chili from the looks of things. Yep, so they do have guys up on their balcony now.
Started to take control of that, but they need to push it, and they don't get a trade. Fappy manages to take down Luke on the point, so that was a good kill. That's going to allow the FCLM guys to get control of this point completely. And it's up to the RSNC guys to get back in real quick. They've still got your enemy up on their balcony. He needs to do a bit of work now.
Call there, taking out Fappy on the A point, getting taken out himself, was it? No, that
Well,
was
it
Luke
does.
that got taken out by Spuddles there.
Point has gone over to VS, but I don't think that they've got the presence to probably hold it.
No, Decol's on the
Oh.
point here already.
That was a good double kill there. I don't know who picked that up. I think it was... Oh, Ching, and he
Ching,
goes down.
yep.
Oh, Banjo, though, picking off the man that took down Ching.
Bottles up on the balcony here, but Decol and a whole heap of them pushing up onto that balcony to take it back again. Decol and your enemy
Yeah.
there.
They want them off. Interestingly, we just heard... I don't know who that was. Your enemy NC is actually running a shotgun pistol, so... Staying true to the NC faction trade of shotguns everything.
Oh yeah.
We've only got a minute 33 left on this point, so good, solid control. Despite the fact that they lost it once, they didn't lose enough time off it to give FCLM any more breathing room. They've really tightened the noose and they're keeping it there.
Being there with a little bit of land sharking, actually showing how he carries just from a reclined position. Column again trying for the same push up the same set of stairs there, getting wiped out by multiple RSNC guys there.
Yeah, they just lost
Just
3
a
for 1.
bloodbath, yeah.
They didn't need that, but at the same time they needed to try and make a play to get it on the point. There's not much more you can do. You have to go up those balconies at some point. There's no way that you're going to gain control of this point without doing that. We've got the FCLM guys needing to group up for one final push. They have been They have been EMP'd, so half of their guys have lost their shields already. Ooh, and Chili Pilly getting taken down there. Not good. Really, the RSNC guys did the good thing in pushing out and being aggressive and doing an aggressive hold on that point. Although Wenz, I think, just went down to Mono, who's up in the rafters, it's not enough. Killing guys outside the point isn't going to help you.
Yeah, you heard him up there. I couldn't see him though. No, there he is.
So Mono's been doing pretty well in the light assault job, but his team, they're trying to get it on the point, haven't been able to capitalise off the fact that he's constantly taken a man out of action. So the 5 versus 5 of RSNC is coming up really strong at the moment.
Columns seem to be grouping up for another push, and looks like they're going to try exactly the same doorway and stairs again. Oh no, maybe not.
So we can see a 50-point give or take lead at this point. Half of that obviously coming from the point capture that they've just secured. So not insurmountable if FCLM in the final 8 minutes of this match get in and recapture this point. And they've got plenty of time. You only need 4 to capture the point. With a little bit of a give and take, you factor it up to 5, you've still got 2 minutes of play that you can just wait for that ideal moment to push in, and they've got everyone set up to go in. They just need a pick now. But RSNC is not really presenting themselves to give it to them. Ooh, we actually see Ching, who's, I'd imagine, dropped off the bridge down onto the roof in a heavy assault.
Yep, using that spawn room to their favour.
I don't think you can actually wall jump here, maybe I'm mistaken, but... Ooh, Mono manages to...
Yeah, taking out Wines there, completely missing Ching on the roof though.
Yeah, he did. But still, picked up one, better than none. Oh no, he's gonna go down. No, he gets away, bounces around, does manage to save his life just, but Ching hunts him down.
Ooh.
Puts him in the dirt.
Mowed down.
Now Ching's in a bit of a vulnerable position. He's got to get back inside, or he has to start shooting at the drop pad, and he does. Picks up Spuddles, I think, was there. And that's one of their key players for the FCLM guys. Him going down for free is not going to be in their game plan. And Ching trading with Chili Pilly, or Rippling was it there? It might have been Rippling picked up Ching.
Column really struggling to get a hold here. They're just slowly, RSNC are whittling more and more points away from them.
Yeah, you sort of see half of the FCLM guys standing outside waiting to push in, while the other half are already sort of gone up onto the balconies, so it's not a clean push from them. We just see Ching getting a free kill there, jumping off the balcony.
Well, and he going for a flank there, but not getting Ching down and then getting taken down himself.
Yeah, your enemy managed to put Spuddles down, but you can see the benefit of holding the room. Ching was in a bad position there. He killed one man and he got jumped by another. Immediately just jumps over the balustrade, and the VS guys don't have that benefit of knowing that my friends are down the bottom to help me. For him, his enemies are down the bottom ready to shoot him. So he has one place to be and one place only, which is in a compromised position, and he's going to go down no matter what because he had no support anywhere inside of that room.
Yep.
We see a similar here. I think Spuddles has managed to push himself back into the room.
Got back in, but he's just hiding behind that server there. Not able to do much at all.
Slime Hunter managed to pick off Luke at least, but they trade 2 for 1 still.
I was getting dropped there by Decoll, I think it was, yep.
Sort of seeing the way that Gab controlled this room once they took it off Jugger in the first round. The second round, Jugger definitely did a better job of trying to push in smart. But the first round, Gab locked this room down completely, and nothing was getting in there. Nothing that was getting in there that was going to live, that's for sure. And they're doing the same. They're starting to extend their lead. They're getting some good kill streaks. A few guys that are almost at the point where they're going to have to redeploy to go back and get bullets because they've been alive for that long.
Obviously, this could turn similar to how we were predicting with the other match. It could turn in Fifth Column's favour. They, assuming they don't lose too many more kills, it could very much be them capturing the point and then holding this base the next time around. You really just don't know with Fallbridge Chemical what's going to happen.
No, it's easy to flip the switch on this one, and then in the next round, FCLM can do exactly to RSNC what they're having done to FCLM right now. It's very, very easy to do that. So, by no means is this game over. FCLM probably just needs a refresh. They just need to say, okay, we got blown out in that one. It's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad enough that you'll start to say, okay, game's over, boys. Let's just go home and pack it in.
Just mowing down Fifth Column guys there as they flank in.
Yeah, he's done well, and he's moved inside now. I think he sort of got a little bit disheartened, getting a little bit of to and fro with Mono on the roof, and just said, oh, well, stuff it, I'll leave him up there. He can do what he wants, I'll just stay inside and keep the points secure for my team.
That's really what I want to see. It's the right time to decide to change up the tactics and go, I'm not getting as many kills as I could be getting for other people, so change up my tactics.
Definitely, and he didn't have someone contesting him last week when he was going up against a 0 light assault team from Soka. So coming up again, we were saying last week we want to see just someone get in that role that will disrupt him a little bit, and FCLM have sort of taken note of that and put someone there, and Mono's played well, no doubt, but Wenz is definitely still a good player, and probably just, like you said, smart time to make a change in the tactics. It's not necessarily going bad, but it's not working as well as we'd like it to, so let's just hold the
on
point.
The roof again, capturing just that sort of upper territory and sort of holding and suppressing where he can as a heavy again.
We've got Wenz in a position to take out Slime Hunter there, the Infiltrator, and he also puts down the Light Assault, Mono.
Ching dropping down again for the takedown on Rippling and on Fappy as well, from looks of things as well. Yep, Rippling and Fappy, they're getting taken down from Ching, flanking around them.
And there's not much that I can see that FCLM is going to be able to do to get in here. They're just that well held down and just pinned. They're starting to regroup around the side, and then all of a sudden an RSNC man pops out of that very secure door on the side and shoots them a couple of times, and then all of a sudden the push that they need to get in on the point and recapture it is over, and they're out of time now. They can't capture the point with enough time on the clock.
Banter there, EMP himself, I believe.
All about the team play. You can EMP yourself for days as long as you take in that motion dildo. We do see Fappy taking down Luke there, but whoa! Manages to get taken down. Decol, I think, took him down with a little bit of covering fire, but not before Wenz went down as well.
Hang on, aren't Decol and Wenz on the same team?
Oh, they are. Was that a team kill?
May have been a team kill there.
Could have been the first one that we've seen. It was definitely Decol shooting across with the anchor and trying to help Wenz out. It was either the anchor that took him down or the knife from Fappy. And we see Mono gets in onto the balcony. We've got quite a lot. 4 VS guys on the balcony here. It's almost like RSNC.
Actually sort of looks like they've started to take control of the actual building. Obviously not enough time for them with only 25 seconds left to actually get a capture, but enough time for them to get a little bit of suppressive kills, help them out a little bit with the score there.
Oh, Ching coming up big and then picking up 2 kills on the balcony, clearing it out. The third one was taken down in a trade. Good resecure from RSNC. That's probably good practice for both teams because it's what FCLM is going to need to do the entire next match and what RSNC is going to look to do to recap.
Round 1. Alright, so flicking over to the scores. Fifth column with 74 points there, with RSNC big lead ahead of them, 191. Good showings there from Ching again, obviously 28 kills to 9 deaths, and fifth column they're struggling a little bit, all tying 7 kills, Fappy, Spuddles and Slime Hunter with the top kills there. None of them holding a positive net score, a lot of deaths obviously coming up against RSNC.
Not the scoreboard that FCLM probably wanted or expected, really, coming into this one. I mean, Ching went huge there, going in 38 positive score. That's a big score to put on the board, especially when you're looking at your enemies who've got negative 20, negative 28, negative 16, 10, 12, really sort of getting up to the upper end of the negative scores. They won this round, by outshooting him. That's a big deficit that the RSNC guys have built for fifth column to come back with. 120 points that's a mountain to come back up against.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a challenge for fifth column. Can they really fight up to that challenge? So that is going to be the question. We need to see a hard capture and a hard hold of that building, so they can just start pot-shotting off the RSNC guys. Obviously, you want to take down Ching first, get him out of the round and respawning as quickly as possible. They're holding those better players back, but are they going to be able to one for one Ching over and over again to keep him down?
And Ching always seemed to be in the right spot at the right time that FCLM couldn't do anything about him, because he would know, and he's definitely the captain of this team. He's going to be the one barking orders and moving people around, but at the same time, he knew instantly when his guys were in trouble. Quite often that guy would go down, and then all of a sudden Ching would just come out of seemingly nowhere and take down the 2 FCLM guys that put his man in the dirt. So really good positional play, and knowing where FCLM is going to push from, being far enough back that once his guy was engaged, he was not obvious, moving in, picking up 3 kills basically. There was a lot of times there where he wasn't contested. He just cleaned up a couple of kills and then no one left to shoot him.
No, and that's it. 2 or 3 times there I saw him flanking around behind the other guys, and obviously he's got situational awareness on his side, dropping down, seeing the guys and coming in behind them as they're pushing in, not expecting him, and he'll shoot one guy in the back and then get another guy before he can get taken down himself. So yeah, he really knows how to play the game well, how to watch the map well, and how to flank correctly to get those kills before they can take him out.
Absolutely, and it definitely plays a lot of first-person shooter games, not just PlanetSide, so it's probably a little bit of a credence to that. PlanetSide's not one where you have to watch the map so much, necessarily. It's going to be obviously a lot of times just a blob of either your friendlies or the enemies. You're not looking for that individual man, so maybe a bit of a cry to, he's obviously played a bit of Counter-Strike, not necessarily well. He obviously jumps off heaven, but someone needs to link that video in Twitch chat, by the way. But in that kind of a game, you got to watch the map. You got to know where your enemies are, and you got to know where your friends are at all time. Because if your friends aren't there, your enemies are going to be pushing it.
Interesting. Both of these matches so far, we've not seen a single max get pulled by any of the teams. Obviously, that first match, the Soka Dyer match, both Soka and Dyer pulled maxes there at one point. Soka out of a little bit of desperation, and Dyer not looking at it as a situation where they couldn't lose, so why the hell not? It'd be interesting to see if fifth column decides to pull out a max or 2 during this round to try and get a few quick kills, push a little bit quicker in, and sort of take that A point quickly. That's the 30-second mark there.
And with the max comment, I don't think that this map really lends it to it. If you're pulling a max, you've got to push back and on the point. The only max that I would use in that situation is an NC max with an Aegis shield, because you're going to catch rockets walking through that door. It's just not worth it. So it's very easy to pick off the enemy max if you have control of the point.
No, true enough, true enough.
And we've got the same stuff from FCLM, 4 heavies, 1 light assault, 1 infiltrator. and matched by the RSNC guys for 1-1.
Fifth column seeming to be the first guys into the building there. RSNC looks like they're down 2 guys inside here, only 4. 1 going up into the balcony there and 3 down on the A point. Fifth column going more for the upper balcony. And RSNC looks like they've tried to suppress again from behind there.
We've got 2 for 2 so far in this game. So there's still equal amounts of men for both teams on the point.
No capture on the A point there. Decal sort of swinging by it, clicking it a little bit, but not enough to capture it.
We've still got 1-for-1 trades, but the reinforcements are starting to arrive for both teams, and a good double strike onto Rippling. They splashed him with one and killed him with the other one. Really good play there. Good coordinated play.
SNC going for the point from the looks of things.
Spuddles puts Ching down. That's pretty big. But again, they've got the point.
Chili there taking down your enemy. And we've still got Luke on the point there, hiding behind the servers.
Yep, just poking out, takes a couple of shots, goes back into cover. That's all he really needs to do. When he takes him down chilly pilly there.
Banjo's got himself up onto the balcony there.
We've got Fappy picking up a kill on one of the men on the point, but there's still 2 more there, so you're sort of stuck. And that 1 kill doesn't do much. Red Banjo closes out a man trying to get up on the balcony.
Whoa, getting taken down there.
Getting commissioned. But Wens closes in and avenges his leader. So good balcony control here from RSNC again. There's not much that FCLM can do except for a concerted push.
Fappy getting taken down there by Decal, who's up on the balcony now. Rippling getting taken down by Luke, while Luke gets taken down again by Rippling in a kill share there.
Yeah, and those kill shares are going to be critical for FCLM. RSNC won't care too much about a kill trade because they know that FCLM needs so much weight to push in onto the point, but for FCLM, losing a man is really critical. We do see Fappy picking up Decal on the balcony, so that's what they need. Now they need to push it. Oh, and Fappy also getting down Red Banjo. He's taking heat from the other balcony, but manages to survive and lives through the rocket. So he's done well there. He's secured that entire balcony and he's now backed up. No, he went down. Now, Rippling takes the place of Fappy on that balcony, so they still have some sort of control over it. They get a little bit of backup on there in Chili Pilly, but it's not enough to get onto the point yet.
Now we've got your enemy and Decal here, both sort of lobbing rockets at him. Obviously not looking for the kill points, just looking to take down the fifth column guys, stop from having that hold on that balcony.
Even just deter them from pushing out, peeking out even. You know, and it gives you intel as well. You're not quite sure where they are when they're up there, so getting a splash on someone, you know exactly where they are, you just tag them. Wens and Red Banjo picking up 2 big kills there for RSNC. And they've got the control back of the room. They lost a little bit of it, but they're down to 1 minute until they capture.
Decal getting taken down there by Rippling. Love to see a more concerted push from fifth column now to take back their point. They've only got 40 seconds left before RSNC capture the point. If they don't stop them and slow it down at least, that extra 25 points they're going to get is probably going to mean that it's all over for fifth column. I don't think they're going to be able to come back from that.
Wen's being a bully up on the roof, but you're right. And Wens is denying them that ability. He's just picked off 2 kills on 2 guys that were far, far removed from the point. Nowhere near it. And he just stopped them from being able to group. They just can't can't get together as a cohesive force and push in because Wenz is just being such a pest on the roof. He's still up there.
That really is the power of the light assault, and that's how you want to see them use. You want them to be an annoyance, and there goes the cap to RSNC, bringing it up to 271 to only 112 now for fifth column. And yeah, having that light assault on the roof, and especially struggling to have a counter now, which looks like fifth column have now in mono again. Just being able to annoy the guys stops them, slows them down, distracts them from getting into the point, and that makes a large chunk of difference.
It does. Invaluable when it goes right, useless when it goes wrong, really. It's a glass cannon. You need to employ it when you have an advantage and when you can push that advantage. But Wenz, we know, he's comfortable in that role, and then if Wenz isn't up there, we just see Ching. We get taken down, but Ching drops off the bridge as a heavy assault, and they have another pest up there, and a pest that's really, really tanky. So they're just playing it right. They're doing exactly what they need to do, the RSNC guys. They're not letting FCLM get together. At the same time, they're out fragging them and extending their lead, all the while maintaining control over the one thing that can get FCLM back into this game.
Very quiet A-point room at the moment. Really only 2 RSNC guys in the whole room. We've got an infiltrator and a heavy. Looks like everyone else from RSNC seems to be outside, just holding them back now.
Just saw Spuddles somehow got up onto the bridge. They don't have the capture up there. I don't know how he got up there, but he's on the roof as a heavy assault at the moment, trying to do what Ching just did to them, and Wenz is gone. Ching is gone. No one's up there. He's effectively useless. And it's got to sort of get to a point for FCLM and even RSNC to don't worry about the point. Let's just score as many points as we can. Let's kill as many as we can. We know we've won this for the factor of RSNC, and we know we've lost this when you're looking from the side of FCLM. So they're just looking for points 4. Score as many points and give up as few points as we can in this last 7 minutes of the game.
Run it, Ching. No. And getting taken, Solus getting taken down there by Ching. Obviously, Infiltrator versus Heavy, it's never going to go well, especially going up against Ching with that high sort of score that he's got there. He's obviously a good player.
Yeah, he's their ace. He really is probably the ace on this team, really, not to take anything away from the other guys. Luke is an exceptional player on live, but Ching, you've got to follow up behind him. He has to drive the whole team to where they need to be, and if you can make plays off what he's going to do, then you're going to be in a good position. Just see him pick up another kill.
Interesting. We've got Luke here up on the roof, up on the bridge, sort of whatever you call that. Not just dropping down onto the roof. But as a heavy, an unusual sort of play there. I would have dropped straight down onto the roof and tried to get as close to the guys as possible.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a little bit. Spuddles was up there for a good chunk of time and didn't do much at all. And he just tried to get back up there again by the jump pad, but you can't quite make that jump. And he does pick up 1 kill, Luke, so he makes him time worthwhile up on the top there, and he gets another one. He picks off Spuddles, so 2 kills for Luke on the roof as a heavy assault, and he hasn't taken a shred of damage yet.
Wine's up here on the stairs and Spuddles up on the roof as well, so they really are suppressing from above the 5th column guys as they come in up those jump pads. Would be interesting to see 5th column trying to go down underneath through the walkways and come around on the other side, something that RSNC might not be expecting. Give them a little bit of that flank and hopefully they can push into the building on the other side, come in behind them.
They've pulled out the second light assault to try and get Luke off the roof, and they do get him off the roof, but they don't kill him. So FCLM has not necessarily control, but they've removed the control of the roof from the RSNC guys, and they needed to do that just to get up the jump pad, really, as they couldn't do anything. Without being able to get up onto the same level as those guys, there's not much you're going to be able to do. But they expended a lot for it. Luke, who still hasn't gone down as far as I can see, picked up 6 or 7 unanswered kills while standing on that roof, just from the guys coming up. Basically, as much as you can in Farmers League, that's spawn camping. Legal completely, but that's what he was doing, and he did it extremely well.
Well,
Oh,
Mono
and he gets
dropping down there,
Spuddles.
trying to. Oh, was it Spuddles? Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Spuddles, yeah. They've got a couple of light assaults floating around.
Ah.
Chile manages to get a kill for his team though. And that's what they sort of need at this point. But yeah, they've almost thrown it out the window, it seems. They're just not cohesive. We've got one man flanking all the way around the back, going in by himself. You know that he hasn't said anything to his team. They're just sort of trickling in.
Yeah, well, that's it. And the skills of the individuals are really only going to get you so far here, especially if you get flanked by multiple guys at once. Still needs to be that communication.
Yeah, communication is vital when you're playing in this kind of thing, and when you're that far behind, your communication needs to be absolutely on point, because you need to press any and every advantage that you get, no matter how small, no matter how big. Your team needs to know about it, and then your team captain needs to be able to make a really quick call, push, 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 or no, sit back. That's not our time to push, whatever the call is, but you need that information to be able to make that call.
Your enemy and Ching here taking up positions on the balcony there. We've got 5th Con guys on the opposite side here. We've got Rippling and Spuddles and Chili Philly here on the bottom as well. It's turned into a bit of a rocket off
ball?
here in the middle of the base. Very reminiscent of the American Farmers League series in this building.
Yeah, there's a lot of rockets thrown in this one when they do actually score points. I'm seeing a lot of them thrown even when they don't score points.
Obviously, it's just trying to hold off the guys that are here.
It is a suppression mechanic, and it's suppression and deterrence, really. Tag them up a little bit so that they think twice about poking their head out and trying to kill you, and suppress them so that they just can't move, and your guys can get into a position to take them down. But
Getting
Slime Hunter
taken
picking
down there by Slime Hunter.
Slime Hunter going down, and Luke cleaning up the mess, trading with Spuddles.
Yep.
We've still got one man up here though. We've got Rippling up here for FCLM, so they don't quite 100% secure it, but they really severely dent the control that FCLM had on that balcony. Or Banjo picking off Rippling there. So that's it. No more men on the balcony for FCLM. They're back to trying to push in.
Ching land sharking it again. Just a little bit of relaxation there, Ching. Just throwing a grenade while you skirt on the ground.
And why not? Laying back. They've got a huge lead here at the moment. They've got a 200-point lead. That's pretty gargantuan at this moment. And a second week in a row, FCLM's getting blown out. It's got to start to play on you at this point that, you know, maybe we're not in the same league as these guys. Maybe we're doing something wrong. Maybe this, maybe that. That's hard to sort of move past.
Yeah, and it's really going to be a struggle to come back from. Like, obviously, with every defeat, you know, there's a little bit nagging in the back of your mind, that sort of, yeah, well, what are we doing wrong? Yeah, what do we need to change? Of course, we do have, end of next week, after the mirror matches, they are able to swap out players, so it will be interesting to see if we do see a few swap arounds from some of these teams, trying to pull in some of the old veterans, some of the better players to try and bump up the skill of the team as a whole.
Yeah, I think we'll see subs from absolutely every team. I don't think any team will go into that week where you can substitute players not swapping someone out. There's going to be lots of guys flying. Everyone's going to know how committed you are to your team's cause of winning, and how committed the guys that missed out on the first call are to prove themselves. So every team, I think, is going to have real shake-ups when it comes to that point after the mirror matches, that they can swap out and not necessarily cut people, but just refine their teams. You know, what do we need? Soka, we need a light assault. You know, that sort of thing, where you can just take someone out who might not be performing as well and put a real specialist in that you know that your team needs.
Just RSNC just dominating here now, 375 to 158. Only 15 seconds to go. That's very much it, all over and done with for 5th column.
Yeah, tough loss. Second week in a row. The only real silver lining is they didn't lose quite as bad as they did last week, but it's still pretty rough.
Yeah, tough one to lose. And there we have it, guys. Right, swapping over to the halftime, the final screen, I should say. So yeah, 385 for RSNC with the win there for fifth column's 160. Seeing some alright kills all up from the fifth column guys. 17 from Fappy, 15 from Spuddles. Some good kills there, but obviously not able to compete against Ching with 48 kills, Luke with 41 there. Wines with 28, a large chunk of RSNC just dominating there with the kill count.
Yeah, really, really low scores from the FCLM guys. Really, three guys basically on -40, and that's you're never going to win a map with that kind of thing. And I think they were really, really disheartened after that loss. All six of the RSNC guys shouted GG after that match, and not one of the FCLM guys. And I don't think it was through not seeing it. I honestly think that they just threw the headsets or the mouses and put it down. And I can't blame them. They're not performing how they should as a team. They're not that level of player. They're not -38. They're not -40. They're not -41. They should be playing better than that. Something's going wrong in that team. Whether they don't have a captain, whether they don't have a go man, someone to push in and just be, your Chris and your In Flames, the guys that ended up in negatives, but just pushed in for your team, did what they needed to do. So I think it's going to take a bit of an emotional toll on them, this loss.
Yeah.
For a second week in a row, just getting blasted.
Yeah, fifth column have definitely had the worst end of the stick pretty well 2 weeks in a row. Obviously, going up against one of those high tier teams for your first match as well with Jugger there, and that dominating victory from Jugger would have really taken a toll on them. And then coming up against RSNC in one of their most difficult bases as well, from what we've been told, with Fallbridge Chemical there. Obviously, that pushing in and holding that A point is just so difficult, and RSNC just were able to do it better and just had those one or two guys that made all the difference. The Chings, the Lukes, those sort of lot.
They did. Their playmakers stood up and shot down the playmakers on FCLM. They put the guys down that they needed to. Mono did well at -12. That's not a terrible score for a light assault, a close win. So -12 is pretty good. Spuddles, arguably their best. Heavy, did okay. As well as Slime Hunter on the infiltrator role. Those three guys weren't as far behind as the other three guys that really dropped the ball. So I think they need those three guys to get a game plan together in how they approach something, because playing a heavy, you need to push in. One guy can go down, that's fine. Put a little bit of damage on the guy that's going to eventually kill you and allow your second man up to put him down. Make it a 1-for-1 and then rely on the skill of that man to push an advantage from there, or the guys behind him to push an advantage from there. We saw them dribbling in one by one. Spuddles would go one door. Fappy would go one door, Mono would be up on the roof, Slime Hunter would be sniping somewhere, Rippling was a completely different area, just an example, and they'd all go in at once, and they'd all get shot down one by one. And it just didn't happen for them. They never had a push where they all sort of grouped up. And it's disappointing. It's disappointing to see those guys get sort of knocked so hard second week in a row. But yeah. That's the way it works. You've got to pick yourself up.
4 weeks left to go, so they do have a lot of chances to make up for it. They've still got a few good fights there against, Gab, Soka, Dyer, I think, as well. So, there's definitely their chances for them to catch up a little bit if they just change up their strategy a little bit.
Absolutely.
Now,